Hi, everybody. It is Robbie and Nicole. We are here to get back on our podcast game. We wanted to start recording a little more consistently and sharing messages with y'all. So today is the relaunch of that. Thank you for joining us today with this. And hi, Nicole.
Hi, I'm so excited to be doing this again.
I know. We were chatting a little bit beforehand, and I think the messages are coming through strongly and clearly. So let's get going.
Yeah, let's do it.
um, so I'm going to let you share what was coming up for you this morning.
Well, I think, we had been talking about, what archangel do we want to talk about? And there's just, you and I both talked about this a lot and with other people, that the angels just feel so close. They feel louder. They feel like they're surrounding us more. And the need for people to know about that and work with them is just so important. And there's just so many. And sometimes they're coming in united and they all have these superpowers. And kind of thinking about this, it was like, where do we go? Is it because there's just so much needed, and there's so many little specialists out there. But what came through for me really strongly, and it has been, I think, for some while, but I may have been ignoring him a little bit or them a little bit, is our guardian angels and how important that is, and also assuming that everyone knows, what that is or who that is, or that they have them. And I just think it's really important for people to understand that, that we all have a guardian angel, usually more than one, but, one main guardian angel that was assigned to us at birth, that has followed us from lifetime to lifetime, that's been here since we were born to the day we die, and they're here just for us, just for you, right? And no one else. Other angels, they come and go into our lives as guides, or there are angels for all different things, but this one is assigned to us. It's our true best friend that we, when we decided to come here, we asked them to guide us and watch over us and be with us our whole lives. So it's so special, and an angel isn't a past loved one. It's not someone who has ever lived and had a human experience. They are, the angelic frequency, that they have no egos. They have never been human. And we have lots of guides, right? We have guides that have been human, and there's all kinds of spirit partners that we talk about. But this guardian angel is just, they're really just, they care about you, and sometimes I think we take that for granted. I think a lot of times I felt in my life alone. And I remember there was a time where I'd pick these theme, songs for my life at the time when I was younger. And it was like Green Day, I Walk Alone. Like it was just my empowering kind of thing at the time. And then I remember laughing about it. Like, they must have been rolling their eyes. Like, you never walk alone. It's so silly, but you and I, we're aware of who they are and have worked on that relationship. But lately it's just been something I've kind of bypassed and just, okay, Michael, I need to be protected. And, Shamuel, help me see. And whatever it is. And they've been coming in really strong. And I think the reason is, they care about us. It's not about all the things that we worry about that are outside of us. They really want us to be happy, and they know that path, and it all comes from within. So I think they're here to remind us about that. Like, what are your dreams? What do you need? What do you want? And it feels a little uncomfortable, but it's worth working through. It's so needed. We just ignore that part.
Well, something we've talked about for months, I mean, even back into the fall, is that this seems like it's such a period of growth and transformation where we are truly setting boundaries in a new way, coming into our own power and allowing ourselves to really connect with the gifts, abilities, things that we want to accomplish in this lifetime. Whereas before we did that, but it's also embroiled in the responsibilities, and I don't have time, and But now it just feels like we're being told that we can't make those excuses anymore. If we truly are on this path and truly want to step into not even service, but just into our purpose.
Yeah. And our authentic selves.
Yeah, ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, get rid of the excuses, cut through the bullshit. And what's truly important to you. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do all of the other things that we have to do, like take care of our kids and ignore our relationships, but stepping in and doing that work and really looking at what it is we want is only going to bring joy and connection to those that are around us, because they're going to see us doing that. They're going to see us happier. They're going to see us being more connected, and that's just going to flow outward. I always say to clients that, well, I don't have time, or I feel selfish doing this. Well, it's the least selfish thing you can do is to give yourself time and permission to step into your purpose. It really is, because by doing that, you're not only going to help yourself, but you're going to help so many other people. And I love how you said about the guardian angel. You know, we've both studied with very similar people, and it's the concept is that guardian angel is just assigned to you and your soul through all incarnations, and so it knows you more intimately than anyone. And a couple of things that I find really funny about my guardian angel, I almost called him my guy, because that's what Ella calls Mike, my guy Mike, Archangel Michael. Everybody talks about their angels, and they all have these fluffy names, and they're also, like, I don't know, Gloriandria and blah blah blah,
celestial, sure.
Yes, all these celestial beings that are, guiding you through life. And it's just, and mine came to me and said, my name's John. I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't the most exciting name. It wasn't the most, but and he's kind of droll, and he's just kind of like straightforward and just like boom, delivers them. But that's how I am. I would not be able to connect to this fluffy, I would, but you know what I mean? Like one-on-one, this is how I relate, and how I can receive is through that type of personality. And so that's how my guide comes through to me. I mean, it's very loving, and the messages are very direct and clear, but I think that we do sometimes, and I don't want to say get distracted, but get pulled towards the archangels in a way, because that's what people really talk about. And, people kind of keep that relationship with their guardian angel a little more closely, hold it a little more closer and more personally. Even people who channel, they tend to channel a council or a group or messages like that from, so it's interesting that, they don't normally, from my experience, talk about that their own guardian angel.
So you're right, because they are channeling something out to the world for all of us, and their guardian angel doesn't care about that. Their guardian angel cares about, how are you doing in this moment? Are you safe? Do you feel good? So
it's interesting how we don't talk about it as much. We don't hear about it out in the spiritual world as much. You hear about the guides, which, as you touched on, is different than our guardian angel. Spirit guides, from what we've learned, are those loving beings that have lived a human existence, and they are now in spirit, and they have special skills or abilities in areas that we might need assistance with, during our lifetime or during a segment of our lifetime. That doesn't mean they're always going to be with us, unlike that guardian angel. So they come in and out of our lives to help us when we are ready to receive them. It's an interesting thing that you brought up is, just it's just kind of unfolding for me now, is like, why don't we talk about our guardian angels?
Yeah.
Why don't we have those conversations?
Yeah.
Because we call up the angels all the time and we know they're around, but what would happen if we started having those conversations about our guardian angel as well?
Yeah.
And
personal. And I think it's important too for people to understand that, we talk about how angels don't have a sex, right? That they're not male or female, but when you feel into your guardian angel, you might feel them a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they take on, just like John, right? With every lifetime, I think they take on a persona that we need in that lifetime. If there's a lifetime where we are, this like big burly man, and we have this fluffy little angel, that might not resonate. We need Butch or something, and another time we need that motherly, Kyle Gray says that his archangel looks like Barack Obama, and this was before he was president. Then he became president, he was like, my angel looks like the U.S. president. I have one of my best friends, her angel come to her looking like John Candy from Uncle Buck.
Funny.
And it's always a joke for me because I say that my archangel, my guardian angel, his name is Jace, and he looks a lot like Jason Momoa, and I think he likes that I say that, but I don't know that he looks as much like that as I think. But it's the energy of it. It's the energy of a big guy energy that feels protective to me. I feel safe with it. And he's funny and he's light and he's not so serious. And that's really the energy that I need, in this lifetime. So when sometimes they show themselves with wings, sometimes not, sometimes like somebody you might know, and just to go with it and just understand that they're showing you that for a reason. That's how they're coming across to make you feel comfortable, but they really are this beautiful essence of light. That's just really, they talk about when we pass. I've heard mediums talk about spirits saying that their, reconnection with their guardian angel is the most beautiful emotional experience, finally we see them, like really see them, and you're here, and it's just so beautiful,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of so many people say that we're born and we are of spirit, where we have that total 100% connection when we're born. And then as we go through life, we separate from it a little bit. We forget.
Yeah.
And so that reconnection or remembering that we are source energy and are of spirit, and, the same, we are angels. We are, we've just chosen this physical body and this journey for some unknown reason.
Yeah. And we joke all the time that they're like, oh, my angel must drink, or they're rolling their eyes. But we have to remember they are, they have no ego and they love us.
Yeah.
They are in awe of us, and we are just like the most beautiful, perfect thing to them, which is kind of how we look at them. Like we put them here, well, they put us there.
We exalt them, really, but they do the same to us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful partnership,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I told you this morning when I was sitting with my angel, I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen, because I think sometimes we avoid this relationship because it's so personal, and they can see every part of ourselves, and sometimes actually receiving that love can be uncomfortable for some of us. But I really believe it's worth the effort. So I'm going to sit in the uncomfortable. And I sat there this morning, and he was showing me royalty, just making me feel like he was joking. It felt like a little cheeky kind of the way he was doing it, but royalty, and I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable in that. And then he said, it doesn't matter what lifetime, whether you were a slave or a prisoner, or you have one of the lowest jobs, or consider whatever it is, like you are always royalty. And that's how they see us, and that's how they want us to see ourselves and to feel that, our true, all of that specialness, like to see that in yourself. And like you said before, it's not selfish. It ripples out, and it gives people permission. When you can accept yourself and be your there's nothing more inspiring to me than to watch someone in their most authentic self, just being themselves. And whether it's quirky or whatever, it's just like, Oh, I love that. And it gives other people permission to do the same. So
Absolutely.
it starts here and change the world.
Well, before we started, I pulled a couple of cards, and that message of being your true authentic self, and which we kind of touched on earlier, is really coming through. And the first one card I pulled from my Be Your Own Oracle deck is Success is Not a Destination. And I just feel like that is coming through to remind us that being successful, and it isn't about the results. It can be the awarenesses. It can be just allowing yourself to sit with that uncomfortableness. There are successes that happen all day, every day. Like this morning, I did not want to record this podcast. I was sitting there. I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about? I have so many other things I have to do. And I was outside, and I started doing a few things with the plants outside. And, I refilled the hummingbird feeders, and then I was like, oh, it'd be cool to infuse this with some seraphim energy. So I'm going to do that. So I started doing that, which started shifting my mood. And I looked over and I saw roses on the rose bush, and I was like, I'm gonna go and pick one of those, and here's my rose. And as soon as I picked this, everything shifted. I mean, I wish I could smell this rose. It's just glorious. But as soon as I stopped and was in the present moment and not projecting, and I don't want to do this, and oh my gosh, I have so many things to do, and I just stopped and smelled the roses, I was able just to shift and go, wow, this is going to be really cool to connect with Nicole, which is always amazing, and to record this podcast. So that for me was a success, is to stop and be in the present moment. Mm-hmm. And that's where everything comes from, is from that present moment. So a couple of other cards that I pulled there, this is about remembering our power, stepping back into our power, which is in the now moment, always. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. It's always right here, because now is where we can make the choices about what we want next. And how we make those choices matters too. Are we making them out of fear? Are we making them out of desperation? Are we making them out of our power? And so really, truly thinking about that. And it's not thinking, it's feeling. We talk so much about moving from our head to our heart. And an energy exercise you can do to help with that is just you can either put your hands on your heart and just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth 4 or 5 times, and just come into the present moment. Or if you like the figure eights, which I love working with the figure eight, is just doing the figure eight around your head back through your heart. So you're just shifting the energy and balancing out that energy between your head and your heart. So those are always lovely ways to bring that energy. So then you can make choices not from a stressed, unbalanced place, but really from a place of purpose.
Yeah. Or a place of expectation. Sometimes we think this is what we're expected to do, so this is what we need to do. So it's just checking in with, like, is this really aligned? Is this really what we want? And it's not, I'll be happy when.
Yeah.
Because when the finish line always moves.
Yes.
Right? So we need to be in it and happy now and enjoy this whole journey.
Absolutely. So the other cards that I pulled, the first one, these are all from Radley Valentine's Angel Wisdom Tarot. The first one was the 3 of Fire, and I call this my. He did not like it when I told him this. The RuPaul Drag Race card. Here she is strutting down the runway. She's getting off the boat called the Opportunity. She knows where she's going. She's fierce. She's, she has her purpose. It's Archangel Michael, and stepping into that purpose that we've been talking about all throughout this podcast episode. And it's abundance from past choices. So the choices that we've made are leading us, guiding us exactly where we need to be. And be patient. If you don't know quite what it is, be patient and let it unfold. But putting pressure on yourself for it to know and have clarity is not going to help at all. So it's, Michael helps us to cut the connections to our ego. And so there's a part of that as well, is cutting the connection to our ego and expectations, like you said, of what do I have to do, and putting so much pressure on ourselves. I see people and hear people all the time is like, I don't know. Well, okay, so be okay with not knowing, instead of cycling and I don't know. Allow yourself to sit and go, okay, I don't know, but the universe does.
Yeah, I'm willing to know.
Change the dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The second card I pulled was the Queen of Air. And here she is sitting on a gold throne with butterflies all around, like all on the throne, on the sword that's outright. And she is releasing everything that doesn't serve her, the people, situations. And she is, she's focused on where she's going, on her purpose. And she's not taking the outside influences. I feel like this is just, it's like that, calling in that guardian angel that we've been talking about and communing just with them from that place of power. The throne that she's sitting on is that place of power. And she's allowing the changes to happen,
Yeah, that's what I love about that card in that deck too. She just feels so like it's never like letting go of people and situations that it feels hard. It's just like, it's just done. There's no pain involved with it. It's just like, I'm clearing it out, and there's no guilt. Like sometimes things are just for a season. Sometimes they just don't serve you anymore. We don't have to go over and over and over in our head why it didn't work out. How is it? Was it my fault? Was it this? It's not our business. It's just like, it's just time. And she's just so powerful like that. And I do think, and I know that people can hear this at any time. So if they are hearing this later, then it's for them and it's happening in their lives right now. But for this month particularly, we've been feeling this, right? It's time to clear out the people, the situations, the things that just don't, and not in a way that hurts, in a way that just is like, it's okay, I'm making space.
Yeah. And Radley includes on the writing, he says, sing humor in difficult situations. So it's not heavy. Like you said, but also, I've never really thought about this because I pulled the Archangel Michael card before. She has a sword. She's holding out a sword. So she can sever those connections with ease, with support of her guides and angels and her guardian angel. So I love that. And then the third card I pulled was the Nine of Water. And it's like, you get to choose your adventure, choose your journey. It's up to you. But your wishes are going to come true. Your dreams and wishes are right there, and they're ready to come into reality. You just have to decide where you're going to put your focus, because what you focus on is what you create. Your thoughts become actions.
Reality.
They become your reality. So, and it's having faith and trust that the things that you want will happen,
and that you're worthy of them coming true. I don't know about you, but I've always been one. I tell this story from when I was a kid, because it's really like, I think it's me going through life, but this is my second grade self. And I started taking ceramic classes, and with these kids, and I loved it, and I loved painting, and it was just so much fun. And then when you were finished with one, you get to pick a new piece. And there was this dragon with like roses on it, and it was a little bigger. And I would walk by that piece every time it was time. And then I'd pick something else that was simple and small and less money. And, I just didn't think that I was allowed to ask for something bigger like that, or worthy of that thing. Like, it's just so silly. And then finally one day I was like, I want to paint that dragon. I have it. I'm going to show you one day. It is not a big, elaborate dragon, but for my second grade.
But for you, it is. It's huge.
Was, and it's like, if I could go back and talk to that little Nicole, I would say, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. You might not always get it, but like, ask, know you're worthy of it. And if the answer is no, maybe there's something better down the road. But I think so many of us, when thinking about our dreams, we're going to like not go all the way. We're going to go, well, this seems plausible, or maybe I'm allowed this much, and we might go here. And I think the message that's been coming through so loud and clear lately is like dream bigger, dream, it's all possible. You're the genie. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I just feel like there also are steps that happen along the way. You might not be ready for that big dream to happen right now. All the pieces aren't in place. You haven't met the right people, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There might be intermediary steps that you have to take to get there, which is fine. Remember, success is not a destination.
Yeah. Full circle.
You have to be in the moment to see the accomplishments you've made along the way. I mean, I've had such a varied career and journey where I've been a personal assistant, production manager, desktop publisher, project manager, in all types in entertainment industry, in high tech, in PR firms. All of those skills that I learned along the way have been able to help me develop and build my business. I learned how to record videos and do podcasts and all of those things, edit them. But at the time, I didn't know where it was going to lead me. I just trusted that this rambling journey, this like windy road, is going to lead me where I need to be. I don't know what that final destination is yet, but I'm excited to see it and to participate in it unfolding. And that's the best that I can do, is be an active participant in my life, knowing it's like the chariot card, just came into mind. It's just like knowing that I'm being led exactly where I need to be. And I do want to talk a little bit. I know we weren't going to dive into archangels, but I felt so strongly with the rose, and it's been coming up for the past couple of days. I just feel like Archangel Jophiel is coming through, especially around, you might be listening to this at a different time, but there's a full moon next week. And I just feel like this full moon, some people might find it really heavy for some reason. And Jophiel is coming through to say it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be heavy. Allow yourself to see the beauty in releasing these things. Because when you release them, you have more capacity to receive the things that you want. So I just want, if anyone is feeling that energy, or right now feeling the questioning, am I able to continue? Am I able to really accomplish my dreams? Call in that Jophiel energy to uplift your thoughts, to help ease those questioning thoughts in your mind, the doubts and underlying fear that is probably driving this. And try your best to know that you have love and support all around you, even if you don't know that, even if it's not in human form. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to share, because I just have been picking up that it could be kind of a heavy full moon for people. Yeah. And you can call in this energy and light and brightness to help. It's connect with the brightness of the full moon instead of the loss or release that you might be pulled towards for some reason.
It's so interesting. I hope that everyone pays attention to the synchronicities. Like listening to this, I mean, you're saying this about this release, yet, and you pulled the Queen of Air, where we're talking about how this release doesn't feel like, it doesn't have to be heavy. It could just be with humor. And then you had, was it the Three of Fire, and the full moon is in the background. Yeah. She's moving away, courageously. Like those are the synchronicities that are happening in this right now between us and you. That's why I love working with you, because I didn't even put that together, and here I am. Yeah, it's just, but I think it's going to be. I think it's happening. It's been happening for us, right, in conversations for weeks of like you saying, I don't really call him my guide as often, and then I've had a couple other things that happen where my guides are like, where my guardian angel is like, listen, listen to me. Like, let's hang out together. I want you to call on me more. And I think that people are going to start, you're going to hear something that you heard in this podcast. You're going to see something in your own life. Maybe there's a blue butterfly. I don't know. There's just like things that are showing you, and we can't blow them off. We can't just be like, oh, that was weird. Like, really, this is happening for us. The universe is trying to talk to us. Ask for a sign from your guardian angels. They will give you one, and feel into it. And don't worry if I do want to say this one thing about focus too, because we were talking about that. I've been very distracted lately, and I feel like a lot of people are really struggling. Things are overwhelming, in our own personal lives and things that are happening, and then globally and around us, in a wider scheme. And they make you sometimes so unfocused. And we talked about, we should talk about angels to help us with focus. And really what's been coming through for me is when you feel yourself so distracted, just put down the phone and do those exercises that you do. Put hands on the heart, maybe a couple of the figure eights, just breathe into it and call your guardian angel closer. And just take a moment, even if you don't hear anything at first, keep doing it, keep feeling it, and you'll start to have thoughts that are not your own. They're the whispers from them, So just when you're feeling distracted, do the exact opposite. Just find a moment. It doesn't have to be long. We don't need to sit on a pillow for 3 hours. This is like going out and cutting that rose. It's just finding these moments to breathe and connect, and it will get stronger, I promise, and the signs will get stronger.
Standing outside at night, when I take my dog out for the last potty break at night, I always just stand and look at the stars and the moon. And like right now, the moon is just so gorgeous. Last night I walked out and it was through the trees. It just looked so magical. And there's an exercise called connecting heaven. No, not connecting. Sorry. There's an exercise that is called heaven rushing in. And it's basically you're just standing and you raise your hands and you're receiving. You're just asking for all the love and light to flow downward, flow into you. And something that's just really been coming up for me is connecting heaven to earth. That's why I said that. It's a different exercise, but just being that conduit for love and light from heaven to earth. And as you do that, you're receiving too. Again, that's part of when we do these practices, it not only benefits us, but it benefits others. So if you need to go into it thinking, oh, I'm doing this as a conduit for love and light from heaven to earth. Earth needs it so much right now. Like, think about all the volcano eruptions that are happening around the world and all of these things that, that are happening in nature. Yeah. And allowing yourself to be that conduit for love and light to the earth is also benefiting you. It's just flowing that energy through you and bringing in renewed, revitalized energy, taking away those things. So maybe that's something you do, when you go out at night, or just if you don't go out at night, go out at night and look at the sky and just say, I'm a being of love and light. I want to be that conduit. And as I'm doing, it's just that thinking about it in a different way, because so many of us feel like it's selfish to ask for help for ourselves. So if you need to tweak it for some reason and be that conduit and receiving the benefits of being the conduit, do that.
Yeah. And talk about synchronicity. I just had this conversation with a couple friends yesterday, and we were talking about just that. And one of the things that I think is important to know is that when you're doing that, you can also release the things that you want to release into the earth, right? So imagine you take a moment and feel your body. Where, am I holding my stomach? Am I holding, energy in my teeth? And just imagine that light coming down and kind of releasing that, anything that doesn't serve you, anything that you want to release, any stresses, out the bottoms of your feet into the earth, and the earth takes it and transmutes it, and it helps it. It's giving the earth all this beautiful energy. We think we're dumping, we're not. Yeah. It's coming, it's cleansing and transmuting into something else. And especially when we're connected from heaven to earth, I mean, it's beautiful cleansing light, and it's a gift. So there's no need to just hold on. Like we can release it that way too, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I was referring to with the revitalizing energy is that, just calling that in. And I even have begun thinking about it as, this light being a magnet towards those things that we want to release.
Ooh,
and as it's flowing, it's just pulling all of that, congested energy, the crud, and, things we're ready to let go of emotionally, mentally, just.
Yeah.
So
I love the visuals. I love all the different, you got to play with them and you see what works. Yeah.
See what works for you. That's the beauty of this, know? So,
yeah.
Well, Nicole, thank you.
Yeah.
What a fun discussion. I should never question doing these with you because whenever we get started, I jokingly say that we should record all of our phone calls because 9 times out of 10, when we're not talking like functional stuff, we get on a tangent that I wish I'd recorded.
Yeah. It's so funny. We do.
But
lots going on in here.
Yeah. Nicole and I have started doing retreats semi-regularly. We're going to do our second one. This is it's going to be in October of 2025, depending on when you're listening to this. We are keeping them small intentionally because we found that the last retreat, it was really powerful to be able to work individually with people and kind of set those goals and to give really personalized tools for people, because everybody's in a different place in their journey. I mean, there were a lot of commonalities and themes that came through, but if it resonates with you, we'd love for you to join us at our retreat. You can find information on the website, robbiekearns.com. So, and Nicole and I also offer pretty regularly the Angel Answers gallery reading events, which you can also find on the website. That's where we do readings for up to 10 individuals. And it's not just readings, but we talk about the archangels and how to work with them. And so we're offering a lot of things that we'd love for you to participate in, and as well as the free community. So please, you can go and on my website, robbiekearns.com/community, and join that. I'm really trying to be a little more active in that, and hopefully you'll join us there and share. If you have any insights about guardian angels or questions, please go on and we will be more than happy to answer them. And but yeah, we just want to be a little more connected with people. And we know people are going through a lot right now. And we started this so people could feel supported. So let us support you, however that is. If it's private sessions, Nicole has her website, IamNicoleSchoen.com, and she offers private sessions, intuitive readings, as well as energy sessions. So please check her out and sign up for her newsletter as well. And anything you'd like to close with?
Well, just that I just think, we talk about this all the time. This journey feels so singular sometimes and so alone, and I finding you, you find another person that you really connect with, and it's safe and you can share. And it's such a beautiful gift. And not everybody has like a spiritual, buddy that they can talk about these things with, or a community. But, I just think there's so much strength in community. And we so often, especially when we're going through it, we hermit and we just think we need to get on the other side of it before we share. And I just, I'm trying to go against the green in that way. And really, just whenever we're together, especially when we're in a group, the healing and the epiphany and the support, it's just it's magical. It really is. So we just need more of that in all of our lives.
We do. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Nicole. And you can find us online, through social media or the community. And we're sending lots of love and light your way, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining us.